Your attention, please. The Nook Inc. Getaway Package charter flight will soon be arriving at the deserted island.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Nintendo Switch, You Did Good, where I, Andrew Bolcar, recollect on those Nintendo Switch games that were most impactful for me every day leading up to the release and launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. And I thought we would start with the very first game this is the game that made me get a Nintendo Switch, and that is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Oh man, Isabel, it's been a long time. No big news, but I have some big news. Not really. This is all going to be riff, by the way. I'm recording as I play, just seeing if I spark any memories or recollections, but Animal Crossing was a big deal to me, because it came at a time, probably in everyone's lives, where we were at our most stressed we could possibly be. And that was during the COVID-19 pandemic. Wow, I forgot you get bedhead. Holy smokes, fix that up, bro. There we go. So during COVID, my work that I was doing was especially demanding. I would effectively roll out of bed at 6 a.m., log onto my work computer, work until 7 or 8, and then do that over and over again 6 or 7 days a week. And I did that for months and months and months and months. And I saw that Animal Crossing was out and that everyone was loving it. And I was like, the world is falling apart. It is time for me to pick up a Nintendo Switch. So I set up the alarms. I don't know if you guys remember at the time, but man, it was a real nightmare getting a Nintendo Switch during 2020. I had so many notifications set up, and you were basically racing against the bots, right? So after weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of trying, I finally managed to snag a bundle from GameStop. I believe it came with Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, and a screen protector and a regular Nintendo Switch. And I got this game. I got this console. I remember I was getting the mail. This is so crazy that this is a core memory for me as an adult. But I was getting the mail, and then the UPS man pulled up, and he had the box in his hand, and he handed it off to me, just in the street. And he was like, I remember he said, "Oh, you got yourself a Nintendo Switch? My kid just got one." And I was like, man, it was time. And he's like, "We love it. Hope you enjoy." And he drove off and got it set up, started playing, and this became... people speak about Animal Crossing being a great cozy game, a feel-good game during that time, a game where you could feel normal. And I think the last one was the closest for me of how I felt about this game. But for me, it just gave me sense of control back in my life. The idea that I would wake up, I would set the schedule for what tasks I wanted to get done, or what part of the island I wanted to explore, or what tasks I needed to complete to start upgrading the island. Like this game, honest to God, just made me feel like it made me feel like a human being again, which is wild for a game that like you're I assume a human around animals. But man, it just made me feel it was just such a sense of normalcy and such a sense of control. And I really like I'm not going to say thank you to a video game. I think that's a little weird, but I am deeply appreciative of the experience that this game gave me. I, just to give me that opportunity to be a regular human man again was such a gift at a time where not only was the world falling apart, but my job was especially demanding and demoralizing, you know? You would see a bunch of pictures of people who maybe were like being furloughed or whatever, and like they were going on hikes with their family. They were traveling. They were making sourdough bread, and I was like, dang, I don't move. I was gaining a ton of weight. My wife was making hospital gowns. My kids were doing virtual school. It was just such a hard time, and the fact that this dumb little game where you decorate your house and get your island like up to snuff brought me into a mental state of calm is a tremendous gift. Like this, I know I'm starting off with like a very like heavy topic, heavy memory about a video game, but that's kind of what the series is about, and I couldn't think of a more apt way to start the series. And I recently, and I say recently, I mean within the last year, I came back and I finished up the museum, and then I never really came back to Animal Crossing. It really served its purpose. Like I'm now in a place where, life has returned to a state of normalcy. It's almost as if like I don't need it anymore, so I stopped playing it. And how crazy that is to say. But I look at this game and I just think, man, Nintendo Switch, you really did good. You really crushed it on this one. I think before we go, I'm gonna go visit Brewster real quick. But I do, as we make our way there, I do want to ask, did anyone else have a similar experience with this game? Like, is this a game that you picked up during the pandemic, or during a maybe like just a stressful or difficult chapter of your life? And was this game able to bring you a sense of peace, or like introduce a schedule you could control that you really needed at the time? Let me know. I can almost guarantee, I mean, this game is so popular, but again, I know people are like, oh yeah, this was just so cozy. It was just so nice to decompress. And yeah, it is cozy. Dang, look at those shadows. Holy smokes. Man, am I going to start playing this every morning again? I don't know. But I feel like that this game also offered a lot more than what people give it credit for. So yeah, Nintendo Switch, you really did good on this one. And I appreciate, it came out at the perfect time, and maybe like the worst time as well, So anyway, yeah, day one of my countdown to Switch 2 with looking back over the Nintendo Switch games that made the most impact, or I feel are the most important to me, having spent 5 years with this console. So if you stuck around, thank you so much. If you can, please let me know what your experience is with Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm gonna try and get one of these out every day. They're not all gonna be as heavy or maybe soul bearing as this one, but I wanna be deliberate with taking into account a medium that I've spent so much time with, So yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Andrew Bolcar. Please join me tomorrow for another Nintendo Switch. You did good.